Hello, welcome to Moonlight Justice Oracle. I'm here to do a river reading for the collective. I was not anticipating doing this, but I was doing a practice run with this deck I refound. I'll admit, I have a drawer of decks that I just never quite understood or connected with or had a desire to use in some way, and this is one of them. It's a really interesting deck, and anyways, enough blabbering. So I wasn't planning on doing this reading, but as I was doing this practice reading, I've been trying to do like different combinations of cards, seeing what I feel works best. Anyways, as I was doing that, this reading is something else so far. in a good way. And I'm like, at one point when I stopped, what had happened had me stand up from the table and do that thing where I'm like, my mind is blown enough to just have to get up and walk away. And I paced my living room for a second. I did a lap. And then I came back. I'm like, I gotta record this. So here we are. I'll catch you up now. So we're doing the river reading, right? So we're focusing on the Divine Feminine as the river water energy and the Divine Masculine as the riverbed energy. And then we're looking into how the river is being affected by both, right? So for the Divine Feminine's current river water energy, we got the Grail Knight, the Knight of Cups. And in this depiction, this person is on the horse in the wilderness, and they're playing a harp, and the sun is shining. There's like sun. Wow, it's really bright here, huh? The sun is shining through the trees here, down onto this person playing the harp, right? And so I like this deck a lot because there's a lot involving the land and water and rivers and oceans, and I thought it would be good for this type of reading. Anyway, so the Divine Feminine is currently, it's the Knight of Cups, right? So this is, the Divine Feminine is operating from a heart space. The Knights are active. The Divine Feminine is actively working through their heart space. They're actively operating out of their heart space with whatever they're doing. And this is their general energy, so. Playing the harp. There could be something here about this Divine Feminine collective might either like make music or do something with music in some way, or they have a creative way of expressing themselves, because this knight is expressing themselves in a creative way. What really interests me is the sun shining down on this person through the trees. And I don't think you can see this, but maybe you can. There's like the cup here is seen through these rays of sun. So I don't know if this Divine Feminine collective is expressing themselves in some way, and it's allowing the light to shine down to, I don't know, with the sun, right? Like with light, to shine a light on something. Or this is kind of like that spotlight energy I was getting. I don't remember what reading that was. Perhaps it was Divine Masculine. It's exposing something, or it's bringing positivity in some way, or they're feeling positive. There's something about that. For the Divine Masculine's current riverbank energy, we have Grail 10. This is the 10 of Cups. And in typical depictions of the 10 of Cups, it's people celebrating what they've created that is emotionally fulfilling, right? And I'm like, okay, if this is a river reading, right? We've got the water here and the land here. The Divine Masculine energy represents the land surrounding the water. The land holding the water in some way, right? And I was looking, my first thought when I saw this card was like, wow, how glorious is all of this? Like, all that's been built on this land. I'm just being drawn to this opening in this, is this a castle or a tower? There's this opening and you can see a staircase. There's like light inside here and there's a staircase, and I immediately just thought like it takes effort. It's like the ascending the mountain energy, right? It takes effort to work on an incline. So perhaps this Divine Masculine has taken steps or They've overcome challenges, and look what they've created. They've created this beautiful landscape. The birds are friggin' loving it even. There's growth. There's lots of natural growth here with the trees. And this path. It's just a beautiful scene. And the Ten of Cups is an amazing energy to be in, right? It's like emotional bliss or celebrating and enjoying what's been created. Typically, I see the Ten of Cups as like a togetherness energy. Like complete emotional fulfillment together. How the river's being affected by these current energies. This is interesting. The Nine of Swords. And this is so when I first brought this deck out of the drawer, this card was coming up for the Divine Feminine's energy. And I was like, oh shit. And that was a really scary reading. Scary I mean, it's fine. It's just, whatever. The Divine Masculine was laying over here. I think the card was called, something, the Injured King or something like that. And it was actually the Hangman card, but the card depicted this king laying, there it is, the Wounded King. This king laying here with all these stab wounds and they're like healing. And I'm like, damn, what's going on here? And there was a lot, like the Divine Feminine was in pretty like extreme sword energy. Anyways. And then when their energy was coming in like this, it was like, I wasn't sure if they were experiencing, like they were navigating some kind of scary situation or something, because all these severed heads up here on this post, or on this fence, and then this river here, this stream with the sword floating down it. And, okay, so this is how the river's being affected. I mean, the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Cups, right? I don't believe the river is scared. I'm not feeling like this is creating fear in the connection. I think that these current energies are allowing the counterparts to navigate through their fears. And this could have to do with the mind space, thoughts, perceptions, assumptions, anything that can happen in the mind regarding a connection. Because these counterparts are an excellent energy. Now here's what got me. I'm gonna put these down and take a sip. So first, I could talk and drink at the same time, maybe. Hold on. No, I can't. Okay, so here's what got me. The Divine Feminine. What the Divine Feminine is currently doing as the river water energy. We have the Grail Queen, which is the Queen of Cups, right? And I was like, oh, I kind of like giggled to myself. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Good job, Divine Feminine. And what the Divine Masculine is currently doing is the Grail King. And that's when I just got up. I'm like, I'm done. Did my lap, came back, and I'm like, I gotta stop right here and continue as a recorded message for the collective. Because this it's too good so far. It's too good. Okay, so Grail Queen for what the Divine Feminine is currently doing in the river water energy. And what's interesting about this, and with the Knight of Cups, right, the Grail Knight, the Grail Knight is on the land, right? They're exploring the land, and they're bringing their certain type of magic to this land. And then, with the Grail Queen for what the Divine Feminine is currently doing in this river water energy, it's like you see the water back here behind them, right? And it looks like they're in a cave that's accessed on the shore of this ocean back here. Like, they've gone into this cave, and I kind of got like hermit energy. Hermits like caves, right? And so they're pouring from their cup down onto the ground, and it's flowing into all these like river type streams, like, what am I trying to say? Like cracks. There's like cracks in this land, on this ground. And so I know, so this deck, I think it has something to do with like King Arthur or something like that. I don't know much about that. and I haven't looked into this deck enough to really understand the symbolism and exactly what's happening, so bear with me. If you know more, feel free to share. I will eventually look into it. I just haven't yet. I've had other stuff to take care of. Okay, this Grail Queen. Pouring the cup, and it looks, my first thought was, oh shit, this is blood. Could be wine. I don't know. Pouring onto the land, and it's like flowing off in all these different directions. I'm not sure if it's flowing through cracks or what. But it's this divine feminine with their energy and with what they're doing in the energy. They're interacting with the land. They're interacting with the divine masculine in some way. Or this is focusing on, or this has to do with how the divine feminine is tending to their own inner divine masculine energy. It's probably it's probably both. In some way. It's all connected, right? The Queen of Cups, the Grail Queen. Queen of Cups is a very compassionate, and it's a passive. Like if we were to compare the Queen and King of the Grails, right? The Queen to me is the receptive, the passive energy, and the Kings are the active, action-taking energies. It's like an internal, external situation in some way. Internal, external. Interesting. And then with the Grail King, right? This Grail King is sitting on a tree. They're on the land. They're chilling. And there's this river. There's this river flowing behind them. And they're just chilling here holding their cup. Oh, interesting. I don't know what the significance of this is. It seems like stone. It's the stone square. And then in the Grail Queen for Divine Feminine, there's all these stone squares here. And that's what they're pouring their cup onto. So it's like, I don't know if this Divine Feminine is currently, like offering or giving some kind of, their emotions in some way, or their, anything from a heart space, like love, let's just say. And then the Grail King is chilling on their land. They're on their riverbank here, and they're just holding this cup. And it's like with the Ten of Cups being their current energy, it's like they're just with the cup down here as well. They're just, it's like just enjoying it or experiencing it, I guess is what I'm getting. They're just experiencing it. Because there's something here. Current energy, Knight of Cups. It's like genuine expression of one's feelings, emotions. Authentically taking action from a heart space. Taking actions towards what they want, what they find emotionally fulfilling, right? Alright, let's continue and see what happens. Grail King. I didn't talk about the Grail King too much. Because typically I see the Queen as the passive energy and the King as the active energy, right? And this card, it's different. It's like I see the Grail Queen taking the action to pour this cup, right? And then the Grail King as the passive, just experiencing and holding this cup. Has the divine masculine energy in this collective, like, accepted this Grail Queen's offering in some way, the divine feminine's offering in some way? It's like I've got to get like an acceptance, and with that acceptance, there's this immense emotional fulfillment, this happiness, and it's like I don't know if, because I keep being drawn to like how awesome this is, how much like growth, how much has been built on this land. It's a very lively scene. It's very peaceful, but also very lively. Like there's a lot of like, with the birds. It's like, I don't know if there's been some kind of inspiration here for the divine masculine to like grow, build, create, etc. because of this offering, or because of this acceptance or experiencing of this. I don't know. Something about that. I was going to challenge myself to not say that even once this one, but I can't just oppress it, right? All right. How is what these counterparts, how is what they're doing affecting the river they share? How is what these divine counterparts? The flowering, oh, what is this? The flowering of Logris? I think this is the world. I could be wrong. What is this? 21. Number 21. Yeah, it's the world. And again, so the river's in this. And it's like, to me, the world represents... What was I saying before in that one divine masculine reading? Like the end of a chapter, the start of a new chapter, like a turned page in this story, right? And it's cool because these people they're like, it seems like they're dancing. They're having a good time. Dancing in a circle together. And there's this river back here. There's this little river back there. They're on the land. The flowering of Logres. There's butter. Like, it's a really happy, like, I don't know, there's been some kind of achievement. I mean, I'd say if these divine counterparts are, because this is what they're doing, right? Firstly, their current energies are friggin' amazing. And for what they're doing in these energies, being the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, like, that's an achievement. That's alignment, you know what I mean? Like, that's counterparts who are operating currently from the same heart space. And then with the flowering of Logris being how the river, how the connection essentially is being affected, this is a very happy scene. There's some kind of achievement, some kind of completion, some kind of start. Did I even talk about the Nine of Swords for how the river was being affected? I meant to say, if I didn't already say it, editor, do your thing. I believe these counterparts have experienced fears in this connection. And if they haven't already experienced fears, the energies that they're currently in are helping them navigate this connection, overcoming fears, or overcoming specific challenges regarding the mind space. And I think that because it's like, if you imagine these people being afraid, right? And it's like they're no longer afraid and they're happy and enjoying themselves. So I think something's happened here with these counterparts where they're at some kind of stage in this connection where they've gotten over a lot of the challenging aspects, and now they're in the more enjoyable space within this connection. Enjoyable space, they're now feeling Queen and King of Cups. They're very emotional, mature energies. It's like the masters of the emotional realm, right? So they've learned, they're still continuing to learn how to master their heart spaces, their capacities to love themselves and others, right? There's been some kind of major achievement here with these counterparts. And I believe they've overcome like the struggles, the challenges, or they are in the process of overcoming those. And they're now experiencing and acting from genuine heart spaces. They're now experiencing emotional bliss, emotional fulfillment. This divine feminine is now experiencing their energy Knight of Cups, right? They're expressing themselves in some way, or they're taking actions towards emotional fulfillment, or from a heart space. They're operating from their heart space. Both counterparts are currently operating from their heart spaces. And that's leading to some kind of success, some kind of achievement, a closing of an old chapter, perhaps a chapter that this is a very dark card. This is a dark and scary card. There's heads. I mean, this is good. If we're remembering the Queen of Swords, Divine Feminine's Queen of Swords energy that they were in for a little bit, with the decapitated head. I'm not trying to bring it up, but we can't deny that it happened, Divine Feminine. I know you've already donated all of your decapitated head collection, but we can't just pretend it never happened. You know what I mean? So these counterparts have overcome fears. They're currently in the ending of that cycle, or that cycle's already ended. And now, for what they're doing, this is what they're doing. They're currently operating from mature heart spaces. I mean, the Divine Masculine seems real happy. So does the Divine Feminine, you know? Like, there's a lot of happiness here. There's a lot of love and happiness. Alright, what can Divine Feminine continue to do as the river water energy to help the river they share with the Divine Masculine? What can this Divine Feminine continue to do in the river water energy? Stone 6. This is the 6 of Pentacles. And it's a really interesting depiction. I haven't quite, whenever I see this card, I get a little confused. I think it's because I need to educate myself about whatever this deck actually represents and what the images actually represent. But I'm just going to use my intuition and go off that. I mean, if the stone is, the 6 of Pentacles is about giving and receiving, about equality, generosity. So I think the Divine Feminine is being encouraged to continue giving. If they're operating as the Grail Queen, right? Continuing to offer their cup, to pour on this land, to continue being open to receiving, right? The Queen of Cups is open, they're receptive. They're receptive to others. I do wonder what these stones represent. And also the stones with the Grail Queen and King, like the stone squares. I'm interested to learn more about this deck. What can the Divine Masculine do to continue helping the river that they share with the Divine Feminine? What can this Divine Masculine collective continue to do? What can this Divine Masculine collective? The Sleeping Lord. Wow. What is this? I remember I had to look this one up before. Sleeping Lord. Let me see if I can remember it. It's a really interesting card. Because it's like the land, right? And then there's this, like, you can barely see them, but there's an image of a person sleeping, but they're part of the land. Oh yeah, this is Judgment. This card is Judgment. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Because in this, for what Divine Feminine can continue to do, there's this circle of stones. And then with the Sleeping Lord card, there's also the circle of stones down here. Next to the, I don't know if you got to see this well. Here's the Sleeping Lord. They're like sleeping on their side. It's like with this bird. Is that an eagle or a falcon or something? It's kind of like, what I feel from this card is that this falcon, this bird, this eagle, it represents the Sleeping Lord here. It's like the Sleeping Lord is part of the land, but they're physically represented as this eagle soaring free in the sky, right? what could this represent? I'm kind of getting like whatever energy this divine masculine is currently in and whatever they're doing, because it's like I get a very similar energy from this King of Cups sitting here with the cup, right? Against the tree on the land here, on the riverbank. I'm getting a similar energy to the or this person here that's part of this land. It's like, but what I'm getting, my focus is on this bird flying, right? And I'm not sure what that could represent when it comes to what this divine masculine can do. Oh, the bird's up in here too. That's right, the birds for their current energy. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna find the meaning of this specific card. I'm doing it. Oh yeah, it's called the Arthurian Tarot. Originally published as the Hollow Quest Tarot by Caitlin and John Matthews. Alright, here we go. Represents the slumbering King Arthur lying in Avalon or waiting within a sacred cave, embodying the resting divine masculine. Damn it. It's like no matter how much time you spend doing things with, like, specifically in my opinion tarot, things always happen that still like surprise you, or that still give you that like that sense of, oh, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Those who know know. I love it so much. Oh God. Alright, here we go. The slumbering King Arthur lying in Avalon or waiting within a sacred cave, embodying the resting divine masculine. Core theme, acts as a period of profound rest, deep inner testing and reflection before the final breakthrough or completion of a spiritual journey. Yeah, so kind of what I'm getting is that, so in what these divine counterparts are currently doing, right? The Grail Queen, Divine Feminine, is currently giving. They're currently offering or giving their cup. And I think they're being encouraged to continue doing that. And this Divine Masculine is currently in this energy of, it's like rest and experiencing in some way. Staying grounded, right? Remaining grounded. Continue feeling whatever you're feeling, Divine Masculine. Chill there. I think it's funny because they're both being encouraged to continue doing whatever they're doing now. The Sleeping Lord sits right before the final card of the deck. The Flowering of Logos. The World. Interesting. Yeah, this card is right before the card that is currently representing how the river connection is being affected by what these counterparts are doing. Interesting. Now I'm going to have to look into this, because it's like, okay, if both of these counterparts continue doing what they're doing, this is going to be the result. So I'm going to have to look into this next. But I'm going to continue on with the Sleeping Lord for a moment. This acts as a period of profound rest, deep inner testing and reflection before the final breakthrough or completion of a spiritual journey. I think that's what that's what the bird represents, maybe? It's like after the completion, that bird. Arthurian Tarot. Yeah, I know nothing about that. I foresee in my crystal ball that I will probably be learning a lot more about that, which is cool with me. This is a really interesting deck. I'm glad I went through that drawer and found it, because I noticed, I'm like, it's got all these like land and river and water, and it just seemed very fitting. but it's kind of intimidating to me because I don't quite understand what's being depicted. Alright. Okay, here's a different, after I added the additional Arthurian tarot in my search, it says something slightly different. I'll read it. Meaning and symbolism. The king asleep represents King Arthur resting in Avalon, waiting to wake up when his land needs him. Interesting. Yeah, there's something here about this divine masculine collective and how it's like they've already created on their land. They've already put in the efforts. They've already built on their land. They created this beautiful situation here. And it's like now they're resting, or they're resting until the land needs them again. Waiting to wake up when his land needs him. Awakening stands for spiritual rebirth, a call to wake up, and a time for deep change. Divine masculine shows a warm, golden, and wise inner power that is resting but not gone. Alright, let's look into the flowering of the flower. Yeah, okay, so you know what I'm getting? There's something here about the divine masculine as the riverbank energy, right? It's like they've already put in the work to create the riverbank, they're already, I'm going to say satisfied with where they are at in the process of creating their riverbank, in the process of being that riverbank, in this metaphorical river, right? And they're taking a moment to rest and to enjoy the river as a whole, the river bank that they've created, and they are resting. They are just being the riverbank. And the divine feminine is just being the river water. And the river water obviously brings water to the earth, right? Where was I going with this? It's like this divine feminine is currently responsible for bringing the water to the earth, to continuing to, it's like with plants, right? You can't, I mean, some plants do better with drier soil, but it's like continuing to water the plant, continuing to, obviously not overwater it or underwater it, but continuing to bring steady with the Grail Queen, right? Steady. It's the steady, reliable, responsible watering of plants. It's like they're feeling the Knight of Cups energy with Grail Knight, right? But they're operating from a space, a more grounded space, a more controlled space in some way. Like regulated is what I'm getting. Regulated emotions in some way. Why is everything not perfectly lined up here? Dysregulated emotional state right there. I knock everything off this table. Okay, what am I doing? The awakening of, or the, why did I read that as awakening? The flowering of logers. I mean, I guess that's what happens after this divine masculine is done with their nap. They awaken. Done with their rest. I didn't mean nap as like, oh, divine masculine's napping again. I meant it as like necessary rest. It's obviously for the greater good of all. The awakening, interesting. The flowering of that word.
Arthurian. It's hard to type without nails because I had to learn how to see my fingertips with nails to type. Alright. Anyways, let's stop.
It signifies the healing of the wasteland, ultimate cycle completion, and spiritual renewal in the legendary kingdom of Logres. Logres. Logers. It replaces traditional The World card as the final major step of the Seeker's journey. Core theme represents wholeness, cosmic harmony, and the restored beauty of Britain. The destination symbolizes the moment the Seeker finishes their quest and the sacred land blooms again. Wow. Yeah, so it's kind of like whatever these divine counterparts are doing, it's part of the ending of this quest. The ending of the quest. And it symbolizes the moment the Seeker finishes their quest and the sacred land blooms again, right? And I was talking about how this divine masculine is just, they're being the riverbank. They're just enjoying that, or they are experiencing it. And the divine feminine is currently watering that land. They're currently responsible for providing the water to that land. And I think that's how it leads to like the blooming. The sacred land blooms again. I'm so glad I decided to stop and then record this because it really, like, I knew it had to be good. I saw what they mentioned for the Sleeping Lord card, right? This is the rest period before the ultimate conclusion of the Seeker's journey through the wasteland. Rest is called for in order to be judged, in quotations, and tested to see if you are ready to progress to the end of your journey. Yeah, so it's kind of like the final step for this Grail King. And whatever quest they're on, if this is related to the connection with the Divine Feminine, I mean, the query was about the river shared between these divine counterparts, right? The divine connection as a whole. So I'm going to assume it has something to do with that. This resting period, they're being encouraged to either continue in this resting period or enter this resting period in order to be judged, in quotations, and tested to see if you are ready to progress to the end of your journey. Interesting. And this is the end of the journey here. All is right in the world, it says, for the flowering of Logers. All is right in the world. The flowering of Logers refers to one of the ancient names of Britain. It is the time when the Seeker has helped to heal the wasteland, and it is now flowering and beautiful again. This is the end of the journey before your next journey begins again. As in truth, this is a cycle of renewal and changes. This is wild. This is really wild. Like, I feel like there's so much I could say about this, but like, basically, I'm getting like these counterparts. It's like they're exactly where they need to be and the energies that are best for them to be in at this time to complete this cycle together. It's like they're very aligned. They're in like perfect alignment. And that's what I felt when the Grail King came out, and I'm like, I'm done. I gotta stay. Like, I was so like, I don't know. It was a very powerful feeling. They're perfectly aligned in this connection. And they're being encouraged to just continue doing whatever they've been doing. Whatever they're currently doing, operating as the Grail King and the Grail Queen. It's bringing them to this end of the chapter before a new chapter begins. I'm just going to read this. This is on the tarotforum.com, and this is by someone named Pathwalker, and it was written 8 years ago. They say, with very many thanks to Aaron from Eclectic, who originally typed all of this out years ago. The land of Loger speaks. I am the promise of the land that will be restored. Behold, the waters run once more. Each bough is in bud or blossom. The sacred grain is ripening. You who dance out the seed time of your soul's journey under my broad meadows, I bid you find the rainbow's end and your true treasury. Interesting. And that was for this card here. Okay. Core symbolism and themes. Healed land shows the complete restoration of the wasteland into a blooming, beautiful paradise. Cycle completion marks the triumphant end of the seeker's spiritual journey and quest. Divine harmony reflects a state where all things are right, balanced, and unified in the kingdom. Let me look into the stone 6 for divine feminine. Okay, so I wasn't able to find anything about the actual, imagery on the card. I spilled water, by the way. There's water on myself, on the table, on the cards. Yeah, I couldn't find anything about the imagery depicted on this card. But, in general, I think the Divine Feminine is being encouraged to continue giving and receiving in balance. To continue, it's not under giving, it's not over giving. Making sure that there's balance whilst operating in this Grail Queen energy. Keep watering the land, but not overwatering it, not underwatering it, just maintaining a balance. But I believe they're being encouraged to continue on as this Grail Queen energy. Specifically, if this is a Divine Feminine collective that resonates with that Queen of Swords energy that was coming through for a little bit, if it wasn't necessarily easy to get into this Queen of Cups energy, this Grail Queen energy, they're being encouraged to get comfortable in this energy and remain balanced. And I suppose the same would go for the Grail King. Giving and receiving in balance, not overgiving, not undergiving. There's something about that. Okay. How would these combined efforts from the counterparts affect the river they share, the connection? How would these combined efforts affect the river they share? Spear 8. Wow. Look at that. Freaking love this deck. I love this deck. I'm so glad I pulled that drawer open and got it out. Look at that. Glorious river. The beautiful trees. The rushing but controlled waters. We're not talking rapids here. But this is Spear 8, 8 of Wands, right? It's just positive forward movement. Sword 6 is at the bottom. 6 of Swords. Calm waters. Getting to a calmer river. Wow. What should I do next? Recap. I don't even know what to say. Keep doing what you're doing, Divine Counterparts. You got this. Give yourself some pats on the back. Wow. What should we do? Let's just do a quick... No, let's use this one. Let's use this trusty deck combination. I'm doing this right here because I don't want to get water all over everything. Water on cards is difficult sometimes. Makes them soft. Too soft sometimes. What else can you tell this Divine Counterpart collective about the Divine Feminine's current river water energy? Grail Knight for the Divine Feminine's current river water energy. Call to action, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So this Divine Feminine is taking charge in some way, whether that's taking charge of their emotions with the Grail Knight, right? How they express themselves from the heart space. They accepted that call to action. Maybe they were called to embrace and, what is the word I'm thinking of? Embrace this Queen of Cups energy, this Grail Queen energy. they accepted that call to action. What can you tell this Divine Counterpart Collective about Grail 10, the 10 of Cups for Divine Masculine's current river bank energy? Grail 10. Grail 10 for the Divine Masculine's current energy. Miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. This perfectly summarizes what I was feeling when I saw this card. Because I was like, wow, like I was just taken aback by this glorious sight. So it's like this Divine Masculine is currently in the energy of expecting the wondrous to emerge. It's like, I don't know if this is like a wish fulfillment for them in some way, like everything they ever wanted, something like that. Because with the genie lamp, right? It's like making a wish. Wish is granted. They're fully experiencing this 10 of Cups energy, this emotional bliss. It's like, I'm kind of getting like the feeling of, like when you feel like something is too good to be true, and then it's, I guess, proven to be true in some way, or what am I getting? Yeah, there's something about that. I think I've only said that 2 times. Not that I'm counting. Wow. Sword 9. 9 of Swords for how the river is being affected by these counterparts' energies. Sword 9 for how the river is being affected. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. It's like being divinely guided through this fearful energy, or through scary situations, or anxieties, things like that. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Yeah, it's like this river is flowing. It has to go through these dark, scary times in order to achieve that happiness, their purpose in some way. It's like a rite of passage energy almost, like overcoming fears, doubts. Interesting. What can you tell the collective about Grail Queen as what the Divine Feminine is currently doing as the river water energy? Grail Queen, for what the Divine Feminine is currently doing as the river water. Do I want to take this? Begin now. Take your first step. I'm not going to officially take it. It's Divine Feminine collective. They might be in like the beginning stages of utilizing this Grail Queen energy, embodying this Grail Queen energy. Not saying it's the first time they've experienced Grail Queen energy or been in Grail Queen, but it's like in this particular cycle or phase, they are, yeah, this could resonate for those who have been in more Queen of Swords energy. Grail Queen. Why is Grail Queen here for what Divine Feminine is currently doing as the river water energy? Grail Queen. Grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. So this Divine Feminine collective has been approaching this situation from a place of grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. They're feeling grateful. They're operating from a heart space and feeling grateful. Grace. What is the definition of grace? Elegance and movement, unmerited divine favor, or a short prayer before a meal. A courteous, respectful, and forgiving attitude towards other people. A courteous, respectful, and forgiving attitude. Interesting. Yeah, so maybe this Divine Feminine is currently in this courteous, respectful, kind, forgiving energy. They're operating from that energy. Through gratitude, joy expands. What can you tell the collective about Grail King for what the Divine Masculine is currently doing in their riverbank energy? Grail King? Well, that's a lot. Embracing enthusiasm, love and peace, and cleansing waters. Infinite abundance. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if this Divine Masculine is embracing enthusiasm. They might have, it's like they're by this river, right? And in this card, cleansing waters, there's this person floating or just experiencing this river, this lake, pond. Purification activates vibrant life force. There's something here about purified emotions, like purified feelings within this Divine Masculine, and or what they've witnessed in this river water, the Divine Feminine. Why is Grail King? What can you tell the collective about Grail King for what the Divine Masculine is currently doing in their riverbank energy? Grail King. Ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. I feel like this card keeps coming out for Divine Masculine, right? It's like they've been ascending this mountain. They haven't given up. They're not giving up. And it's reminding me of how it's like this is not an easy process. This is very tiring. It takes a lot of energy and efforts, hard work, dedication, right? Because not everyone would continue ascending this mountain, right? This Divine Masculine has not given up. They've been determined, resilient, strong. They had the willpower to keep going forward. Grail King. And it's like, I don't know if this represents like a break, like sitting down and taking a break. I feel like I said something like this before, and it's like, yeah, with the sleeping lord, right? The last rest before, what did it say? Before the land needs them again. So they're continuing to ascend the mountain. And it's like they're being encouraged to allow themselves rest before the final completion of this cycle. And it's like while they're being encouraged to get that final phase of rest before the end of this cycle, this Divine Feminine is being encouraged and asked to step in and continue giving from their heart space, continue watering the land, right? Being mindful about watering the land in a balanced way. Why is the flowering of Logos here for how the river is being affected by what these counterparts are currently doing? The flowering of Logos. Flowering of Logos. Mystic healer, wow. Healing energy flows through you. Interesting. Yeah, it's like there's something here about, because I'm seeing this as like the Divine Feminine, right? As river water. Mystic healer. Healing energy flows through you. And it's like both of these counterparts are doing something that is leading to the healing of this river, healing of this connection, right? Allowing for an old cycle to end before a new cycle begins. And it's important that this Divine Feminine continues on in this Grail Queen energy in a balanced way. And it's important for this Divine Masculine to continue ascending the mountain in whatever way that is for them. You know, whatever that mountain is for them. Keep going forward. Staying grounded. Staying grounded. And relaxed, right? Allowing themselves to rest. Mystic healer. Healing energy flows through you. The healing, yeah, the flowering of logos, right? It's about life being restored in some way. Restoration. In the flow. Everything is smooth sailing. Yeah, this is smooth sailing for these divine counterparts. I mean, even if it doesn't feel like that sometimes, it's whatever they're doing, the energies that they're in, It's allowing for smooth sailing for this river they share, the connection. This old cycle closing out. Why is stone 6 here? For what divine feminine can do to continue helping the river they share. Stone 6. That's a lot. Care and compassion, facing fear, and light activation. Yeah, so there might be something here about continuing. It says choose to be loved. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So there's something here about facing fears, right? With the 9 of Swords here. For what's being overcome. Fears. Continue facing their fears. Continue being compassionate. And shining their light. Sharing their light. Sharing their compassion with the Six of Pentacles, right? It's about giving, receiving, balance. Why is stone 6 here? For what the divine feminine can do to continue helping the river they share. Stone 6. Infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. Yes, it's like giving. Abundance is pouring into your life. And with this Spear 8, as how the river will be affected, it's like, look how abundant this river is. All the abundance on the land and the water. The Sleeping Lord, for what divine masculine can do as the riverbank energy to continue helping this river they share. The Sleeping Lord, for what the divine masculine can do to continue helping this river. Sleeping Lord. Choosing your path, all is possible. Yeah, and it's another card of, it's like, you know, there's a choice in this matter. And this person is, they're standing there on the land, right? All is possible. Possibilities. And with like choosing your path, right? I get the 2 of Wands energy. That's choosing a path and then taking actions towards that path, right? So I'm not sure, we were mentioning before, like this divine masculine's being encouraged to rest until the land needs them again, right? And this is a crucial step before the world, the flowering of Logos, before ending this old cycle or current cycle. They're being encouraged to rest before choosing their path or taking action towards a path. It's kind of like exactly what I'm getting with what they're currently doing, right? They're getting that rest before they get back up and continue the ascension of the mountain. All is possible. Continuing to see the possibilities. It's like not limiting oneself in some way. Alright, Spear 8, for how the river would be affected by these divine counterparts' combined efforts. Spear 8, for how the river would be affected. Spear 8, for how the river would be affected by their combined efforts. Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything.
You know, I had like a, I'm not gonna say a vision. It didn't come to me as a vision or anything like that, but but I just kept seeing the other day. It's like I imagined how like river water first begins its path in some way, right? And I'm thinking like when there's just a little bit of water on like a riverbed, right? Let's say there's a lot of like what am I getting? There's a lot of like things in the way. The water has to keep moving around and like it's not an easy flow. It's not like a natural, continuous flow. There's a lot of stops and reroutes, and does that make sense? But as more water enters that riverbank area, it gets a little easier to flow, like the higher up they get with like elevation, ascension, right? With growth, expansion, like the more water that is involved, the easier it is for it to continue flowing, to eventually it flows with ease like this, right?
I just kept getting that the other day, and I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, at first it can be challenging to introduce oneself as river water into a riverbank, riverbed area. But it gets easier, and it's like, I think that might be what's going on with this Divine Feminine's Grail Queen energy. Interesting. Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. So, by these counterparts, by this Divine Feminine continuing to give in a balanced manner, to allow themselves to be open and accepting to receive, and by this Divine Masculine taking this necessary rest before the closing of this particular cycle, by these counterparts doing that, it's going to help them, this connection, the river, overcome obstacles. You can overcome anything. And then have this free-flowing river. Like, I don't think there's a card in this deck that's better than this one when it comes to, like, a healthy, abundant, thriving river, right? And that's what I'm getting with the World card here for what they're currently doing, how that's affecting their river. It's like everything is, it's like best possible outcome situation here. Good job, Divine Counterparts. All right. I think I'm going to leave this at that. I want to do something else. I don't know how much I want to do right now. How much do I want to do? How much can I do right now? How much should I do? Let's do individual sign guidance. If you stuck around, I thank you very much, and yeah, if any of this resonated, I hope that it was beneficial. Until next time, bye.